right-hand side, brings it into the middle of the city. Jaden Wareham pops up on the edge of the 6-yard box and backflips in front of the big bank. That's how you know it's 1-0 to Exeter.
Lots of positives. I think the lads were very front foot. They played forward, they backed each other up. I think our biggest, the thing that pleased us most would be the behaviours that they showed. That, you know, we're quite big. We give them quite a lot of tactical input. We give them quite a lot of information that we think helps them understand what they're going to come up against. And Peterborough are very clear in how they play, and they have been for numerous years. They're just going through a tough time doing it now. They're going through a transition where they've built certain players up, like your Mason Clarks and those guys and Burrows, and they've moved on, and now they're having to rebuild again. So it's tough for them. From our point of view, it allows us to prepare for them. So we give them the tactical information, they go out there and they execute it, but at times on Saturday we didn't get it quite right, we didn't get the press quite right, we didn't play exactly how we wanted to play. But what we loved is there was no disappointment, there was no frustration. Everybody had each other's back, everybody backed each other up, and Josh's goal from Imi's cross is a great example of that. We got the press wrong, the lads just went, but when one went, the next one went, and the next one went, and we end up winning the ball back on the halfway line, not necessarily through design, but through habits and through looking after each other and through team spirit and hard work. And when we win it back, 2 passes later, Imi puts in a great ball, Josh scores from the header, and that is a great example of what I'm trying to explain, really.
Pleasing to keep a clean sheet as well. I think it felt like a performance where we were, you know, snapping into those challenges, and we were really keen to get the ball back on, you know, the first or second opportunity.
Yeah, and I think that sends a message. You know, the two that jump out early on, Jack Aitchison steals the ball when they're trying to play out, which I think it lifts us as a team and it puts immediate pressure on their guys at the back who, you know, they have to play. That's their style. That's the way they do things. And when you get on top like that early on, it kind of draws first blood. And then I just remember Imi going into a tackle right in front of the bench where he could easily have left it, but he went through the guy, won the ball, it bounced in our favour, and we end up going and attacking. And again, I think that just sends a real message. I think it gets the fans up, it gets us up, you get a bit of you know, everyone's pumped. And that's how football should be, you know, that competitive nature, that fight, that spirit. For all of the other stuff, if you can get that bit right, you give yourself half a chance.
It's been a good start to the season for our strikers as well, and you know, Jaden opened the score and Josh got 2, so that's, you know, great to see, and it puts us in good stead already early in the season. Yeah,
I mean, obviously strikers are always going to judge themselves on the goals that they score, and to a degree rightly so, but it's more than that. They're our first defender, they're our first kind of line of attack where the opposition have got the ball and we're going to go and put pressure on, and I thought at times they did that well. Other times they probably, we can sharpen up on that, but that's the beauty of where we are in the season. We're scoring goals, we're picking up wins, and we still know that there's a long way for us to go to become what we'd like to think the finished article might look like.
Got a player early in their career in Jaden Wareham, you know, learning his trade still, and they've got him playing alongside Josh McGuinness, who's, you know, played hundreds of games and nationally for his country. I guess that must be great for both of them to kind of, you know, learn from each other as well.
I think so, and I think when you throw Sonny Cox in there as well, you've got 3 9s who can play on their own, they can play together, they can play as part of various different formations, they've got different strengths in and out of possession, they're at different stages of the career. That's a nice balance, but you know, again, they'll all judge themselves on how many goals they can score, and it's up to us to make sure we're playing well enough to provide those chances, which on Saturday Josh and Jaden took really well.
The crosses were both exceptional for the goals as well. I guess that's something that we work hard on in training, and I think, you know, Imi himself should be pleased with, you know, how he's attacked this start of the season.
Yeah, no, I think all 3 goals, like all 3 technically from crosses. I think Doyle does brilliant to kind of mop up the second ball from a corner, a bit of disguise to kind of look like it's going out and then come back in, and it's a great run from Jaden across his man, and Doyle picks him out. Imi's cross was exceptional. I spoke about how we end up getting the ball to him is from out of possession work, but it's a fantastic cross using the conditions well. Brilliant run from Josh, and actually probably a far better header than it looks. You know, to be able to redirect it back across, cushion it like he did, but you know, use the skid on the grass to score, I thought was excellent. And then even the third goal comes from Jack Aitchison kind of probing and trying to play a little through ball, doesn't quite come off, no disappointment. Jack, Rydell, a couple of others go and put pressure on it, we win the ball back, and then Ryan Rydell does what he does best, which is a fantastic delivery, and Josh had done what good strikers do and pulled on against somebody who he had a physical advantage against, and brilliant header.
That's 2 convincing wins that are 3 at home as well in the league. Is it important to have we look to have a strong base at home?
I think that goes without saying to a degree. I think when teams have to travel down here, we're used to travelling every week for miles and miles. When teams come down here, it's a bit different for them. They can get stuck in traffic. It can be a long old day. We know all about that and we're ready for it. Other teams it can catch out. So we need to make sure that we do our preparation right, we do our processes right. We're ready to start the game quick and try and catch anybody out if they're not ready for it. But then it is process again. It's us playing to our identity, the way we want to play, to the best of our ability. And if we do that and we consistently do it and we don't let any disappointment creep in when things aren't going our way, I think we're a match for any team in this league.
Gary's spoken about the season being split into blocks, and we've just come to the end of block 1. We've picked up 9 points from that period as well. Can you kind of explain how the blocks work and what you set the players within those?
Yeah, I think this is something like it's nothing new that teams have kind of goals setting exercises, or they try and instill habits to work towards goals. From our point of view, over the last couple of years, we've tried 1 or 2 different things, different themes, different ideas. This season, what we've tried to do is chunk the season into blocks. So we've got, I think it's 8 blocks, 6 games pretty much in each one, give or take, as best as that works out. The reason for it is it allows us to make sure that we don't get too high or we don't get too low if things are going, good, bad or indifferent. It's something that we can put to the players to show them that these are the points available. We've given them ideas on how many points it would take to be in the automatics, how many points it would take to be in the playoffs, mid-table and just below mid-table, and what we need to achieve to get that. So it's not us against 20 odd other teams, it's just us accumulating the points that we know will get us where we want to go. Because I think it's easy as a footballer. It should be the fans that look at the league table and get excited or disappointed or whatever the emotion is at the time, and they should have those conversations, and that's the beauty of football. It should be the player's job to concentrate on the next game, but to have a goal, understanding that this many points will get you in this position, and then building towards that, I think is a real good focal point for the players. The problem with that is when the season starts going, as we found before, like 2 seasons ago when we go 13 games without winning, you blink and 13 games have gone. It didn't feel like we were in a bad run until all of a sudden you realise, oh wow, 6 games have gone in and we've not won a game. But we were just working as we work, and we were putting the hours in on the training ground, and we weren't really thinking like that. And it sneaks up on you, and then it becomes a problem. These blocks allow us to say, right, after this many games, it's done. You could have won all those games, you might feel absolutely on top of the world, don't care, it's finished, we're on to the next. Don't you dare get too high or too carried away. We could have a really tough block where we lose a few games and the lads might feel a little bit low. Not a problem, because that block's done. We're moving on to the next one now. Here's the points that are available, here's the teams that we're playing, and here's what you need to get to be able to achieve these different things. And it makes what is a long season more manageable. It allows us to have focus on different games, and I think it's something that the lads have taken to really well. We debriefed block 1 yesterday. We got feedback from the lads because I think it's important that they have their say. So we asked them what they'd like to start doing now, what they'd like to stop doing, and what they want to keep doing. And then if there was anything else they felt strongly about, give it to us, let's hear it. Because again, you're in the season, everything's on the go. It's important to hear what the players are feeling and how they're seeing it from their perspective. The caveat to that is that it's not to say that everything they say we're going to change, but they need to know that we trust them and we want their view, and they're a part of the process for us to become a really, really good team in this league. So they were really good with their feedback. We went through it yesterday. We're now on to block 2.
Brilliant. The transfer window obviously closed on Monday. We had quite a busy afternoon with Danny Andrew, Akil Higgins and Carlos Mendes Gomez coming in. Can you talk a little bit about what those guys will add to the group?
Yeah, again, a good mix. You've got the experience of Danny, understanding the level, understanding the requirements of being a top professional, somebody who's played plenty of games and knows what's coming and how he can add value himself from his position and how he is on and off the pitch. I think the other 2 boys, they bring pace, they bring guile, they bring attacking threat. Obviously both at different stages in the career, but both young men with still plenty of football ahead of them. So I think they're going to be something that hopefully excites the fans, hopefully gives us a real threat and something different to what we've had so far. And that then allows other players to do their job better, because as we've known when we've had those type of players in the building before, if we want to pass and move the ball, it's far easier to do when the opposition have to keep an eye on somebody who they know can just do them with pace immediately. And that's the beauty of football, kind of putting together those pieces, making sure that you've got a nice balance of youth and experience, making sure that our homegrown talent gets the opportunities that they've had so far this season, but also being in a position that if you pick up the odd injury, no problem, next man up, you're ready to go. So it's fun, it's exciting. The deadline day is over now, so we can just really kind of settle down and get on with the day-to-day. But yeah, I think we're in a good place, and I think the lads have taken to this season well so far.
And you know, the younger players have performed really well when they've been asked to play already in the season, but with more bodies coming in, does that mean there is scope that maybe some of those can go out on loan now and, you know, get more experience?
Potentially, yeah, and again, that's a proven model at the level we're at. I think the young boys did particularly well. The mixture of them coming back well prepared and fit and ready, along with the opportunity of us still building that squad and having to be patient and wait for the right opportunities, has given them Football League debuts. It's given them, and they've earned those debuts. They've been, you know, we wouldn't have put them on the pitch if they weren't ready for it. They've put themselves in a position to earn that, and it's brilliant for them. But for their long-term development, they need to be playing games. So if it's not in our first team, then we might be able to add value to somebody else's first team, while our players, our young players particularly, get first team minutes where, you know, the winning is the most important thing as opposed to development throughout the academy. So I think, again, tried and proven method of doing things. It's worked well for a lot of players before them, but we'll take each individual on their own merit. You know, do we need them right now in the building to help us? Is it best for them to go out and play games? At what level does that look like for them? There's a lot that goes into these things that happens behind the scenes, and then all the kind of general public, the fan base, will see is that so-and-so's gone out. There's a huge amount of thought and reason behind that.
And our attention's now turned to a trip to Rotherham on Saturday. You know, they haven't started the season probably how they'd have expected, but they're always a tough side to go and face.
They're difficult. They've got good players, nice stadium, good pitch, a manager who is new to management, but he's not new to leadership in football. He's been around with Paul Warren for years. He knows what winning takes, but he's finding his way now, and he's having to kind of rebuild at a club that's had a tough couple of years. So it's up to us to go there and definitely not feel sorry for them, to try and kind of instill who we are and how we do things onto them in their own kind of stadium. But our guys are in a good place. They're well prepared. They're obviously, you know, feeling good after the weekend. And the one thing that we're yet to do is back up one good result with another one. So another little goal there for our players alongside the block that we've got is to, well, go on then. If you want to be a really good team in this league, let's make sure we prepare right all week. Let's make sure that you're ready to go, and then let's see if we can build on the back of a good result and a good performance against Peterborough.